Good afternoon once again. Thanks for joining for this next session. Greek shipping, whether small, medium, or large in size, has a few common threads most of the times. One element is the traditional nature of it. It frequently moves on from generation to generation. And the other element is the micromanagement, the successful micromanagement, which guarantees the efficiencies and the growth we see in Greek shipping. Please join us for a discussion with Angelos Papalios, the energy behind Vantage shipping lines, and let us see what he has to share from his perspective, being a traditional Greek shipping company. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, Nicholas. Thanks for joining Slide2Open.
My pleasure.
For a brief discussion on certain relevant shipping matters, which we would like to bring out to the open for people to hear your views on. We meet today when there seems to be a turn of fortunes for certain segments of the shipping industry. And this brings with it a certain euphoria. And maybe if the end of the pandemic is in sight, maybe better days or even better days are in sight. And so that begs the question, at least in my view, as to the prevailing sentiment that one hears when the markets are not good, that the small and medium-sized market will not survive, and therefore there'll be consolidation, and small owners will not be able to rebuild their fortunes. Yet we've seen that the numbers of small and medium-sized owners have pretty much remained consistent. So I would like to have your views on why you believe this is the case, and what it is that this segment, this backbone of Greek shipping, brings to the table that is so vital and so important.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity. This is a very interesting question indeed. This is a debate that has been discussed for many years, whether a big company can compete to a smaller company. The major benefit of a big company obviously has to do with the economies of scale and with the fact that they can, on every operational aspect, they can minimize the expenses because of the volume. And this is indeed a very important aspect. Nonetheless, a medium-sized company, which is operated on a day-to-day basis on the daily matters from the ship owner himself, can benefit and can be very competitive because of the quick decision-making, as well as the involvement, the personal involvement of the ship owner on the day-to-day matters. And this gives the flexibility to smaller traders that they do not have the expertise that is required to enjoy the support of a bespoke, so to say, service from the ship owners for all their commercial needs. To give you an example, a size company which probably is dealing with smaller sizes vessels needs to call smaller ports with smaller traders that they have different local regulations and complications with receivers and shippers. And then all of a sudden the ship owner, instead of being just a carrier, he's being a cargo coordinator. And this is something that is definitely an added value.
A plus for?
A plus. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that
more hands-on,
more hands-on, and an expertise that you cannot find in a big corporate structure where there are lots of BODs and the decision-making needs to go through layers of command rather than what is happening in a more flexible, small scheme.
And many times, if I may add, if you agree, younger generations moving along the years grow into these positions through what they see and what they sense and what they experience sometimes over the years. And so therefore, when you get to the helm, you have really seen it all and experienced it all, rather than having been a professional manager.
Correct. Yes. Yes. This is, yeah. Well, this is the traditional shipping compared to a corporate. This has nothing to do with the size of the company. It has to do with the structure of the company
And the layers, the
and
decision-making
yes,
layers.
Yes.
So I suspect you would view this as the main strength of the small to medium-sized companies. To tie all this short discussion together, you are by now a fifth-generation owner. Mm-hmm. So you've been bred into this industry with all its positives, negatives, its trials, tribulations over the years. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering now whether you think there are fundamental differences in the way your great-grandfather ran the operation compared to the way you run it. Meaning technology has changed and regulations have changed, but has the fundament of what it takes to be a successful ship owner really changed in your view?
I take pride of my family's
Heritage.
background. Coming from the island of Chios and being fifth generation gives me tremendous pride. But I think that the principles, they remain the same. I mean, shipping is a very demanding and challenging industry, but the main principles that I can summarize to a few that my grandfather taught me, which one of them is definitely the quick decision making. Being obsessed with the micromanagement is another. Being a prudent negotiator, while it's a third one.
Proximity to officers and crew.
Being always in command and being able to not allowing any problems, not letting any problems grow. I mean, these are principles that one can use as a foundation. Now, whether technology is going forward and whether the regulations and all the new elements of shipping are growing, this does not really change, in my opinion, the foundations of this.
The essence of shipping.
Of industry. So I think, yes, I take very seriously the foundations that were taught from generation to generation.
That's encouraging. Mm-hmm. Long may it continue.
Okay.
I would like to thank you for this short discussion. Hopefully, a year from now, we'll be looking back at a positive, successful shipping year, and we'll have other positive issues to discuss and bring forward for all of us involved in this exciting industry. Thank you for your time.
Thank you for the opportunity.